This is Old House Woods. Together with Linda and Jeff of Virginia Paranormal Investigations, we will attempt to make contact with one of the many spirits that lurk in these woods and on the beach. Located in Diggs, Virginia, a small pre-revolutionary port town, it was once a popular spot for both soldiers as well as pirates, who used the dense wilderness area as a place to hide out and lay low. These bands of pirates were often said to be camped out in the murky wilds here, to the point that it was considered a perilous area to pass through for travelers. It was also a popular port area during the American Civil War, when it was no less surrounded by tales of danger. Perhaps it is this history as a place of war, murder, and thievery that has given it this sinister reputation for all manner of legends and ghostly phenomena that spans over 200 years. Indeed, even the origin of the name of the forest itself, Old House Woods, has hints of the paranormal. The name is said to have come from the fact that in the late 1700s, there once stood in the center of the woods a colonial wooden framed house known as the Franny Night House, which, according to the lore, was a long-abandoned, decrepit structure that was haunted by ghosts and set itself on fire only to put itself out again on its own. It then caught fire once again years later, again without any discernible cause, this time to burn down to its foundations, which are now overgrown and strangled with vegetation and are all that remain of the house today. Old House Woods and the nearby beachfront area are so permeated with legends and intense bizarre phenomena that it is hard to even know where to begin. Very pervasive are numerous legends of treasure and loot buried throughout the locale by both British soldiers and pirates. One such treasure is said to have been buried along the shore of White's Creek in the 1600s by one of the bands of pirates that were known to frequent the area. It is said that the pirates buried a sizable stash of gold coins here before heading out to get more. Unfortunately, their ship was said to have been lost at sea in a raging storm, and the treasure was never found. If these stories are to be believed, they did not give up on getting back their treasure, even in death. And to this day, there are occasional sightings of a band of spectral pirates digging along White's Creek, still trying to regain their long-lost loot. Over the years, many have gone to look for these fantastical treasures to no avail, and those are just the lucky ones. One of the rumors about these lost treasures is that they have a way of making those who look for them disappear. There have been persistent stories of would-be treasure hunters entering the woods to never be seen again. And one particularly spooky story is that of one such treasure hunter who allegedly found one of the stashes only for his boat to be found drifting in the bay, carrying very old gold coins, but no sign of where the man had gone. It is unclear if these alleged disappearances have anything to do with all the ghostly treasure guardians, or if they really even happened at all. However, a very real obstacle to be looking for the lost treasure is the fact that much of the land of Old House Woods is now private property. So, anyone looking to search for themselves should beware of both ghosts and landowners looking to punish trespassers. The ghosts of soldiers, ship crews, and pirates have a lot of company in Old House Woods. One of the most bizarre such phenomenon is the presence of whole ghost ships that appear in the area. Perhaps the most well-known account of these is a sighting made in the late 19th century by a fisherman named Ben Farabee. He was out on his boat fishing on White's Creek near Chesapeake Bay when he allegedly saw something rather frightening. According to the report, a large, masted wooden vessel, like a galleon, suddenly appeared, with lights at every mast and spar, and shadowy crew members visible standing on board peering off into the distance. The mysterious ship was headed right for him. His calls went unnoticed by the ship's crew, and he maneuvered his small skiff in a panic as it became clear that it was on a collision course. However, when the huge ship came looming over him and a catastrophe seemed inevitable, rather than impact that should have surely came, the ship instead continued on right past him without incident, leaving churning waves and the sound of music like a harp in its wake. Evp stared in astonishment as the ship reportedly continued on its path, hovered up over the beach, and proceeded to float up over the trees as if it were still on water. In addition to ghost ships and pirates are the myriad of apparitions said to roam these woods. One of the most famous is the ghostly figure of a woman who is said to be dressed in a flowing white gown, often described as emanating a blue or green glow, with her hair appearing to be whipped around by the wind even on calm nights. Frighteningly, the spectral woman is known to walk among the trees, or even float above the ground, while unleashing a deafening, unearthly scream, and the lore is that her appearance is an omen of an impending storm, which has gained her the nickname of Storm Woman. Another commonly reported ghostly phenomenon is the presence of Revolutionary War-era British redcoats among the thick trees of the woods. One such account was given by a local resident named Henry Forrest. One night, Forrest claimed that he had been out hunting ducks when he came to an inlet and saw what he took to be a group of black ducks upon the water, which he prepared to shoot at. As he raised his rifle, the black shapes then morphed into ghostly redcoat soldiers, who then proceeded to march towards the startled hunter. Forrest made a hasty retreat back to his small boat nearby, which, much to his horror, had one of the phantom redcoats casually sitting within it. Forrest claimed that he threatened to shoot the strange intruder, and that his response was, "You shoot and the devil's curse to you, and your traitor's breed." Apparently, this did not scare the hunter, who pulled the trigger only for his rifle to emit an impotent click. He fired again and again, only to similarly be unable to actually get his gun to work. The ghostly redcoat then began to rise, and that was when Forrest threw his rifle at it and ran away in terror. Other similar reports speak of being approached by marching bands of redcoats, or even being fired at by them, with the ghostly bullets passing through bodies or obstacles without doing any damage at all. In some instances, these redcoats are said to be looking for something, likely the lost treasure of Cornwallis. Perhaps even weirder than ghostly redcoats is the stories of strange skeletons dressed in armor wandering around the woods. One witness, by the name of Jesse Hudgens, reported in 1926 that he had been approached by a group of mysterious strangers carrying lanterns that exuded an unearthly glow. As he came closer to the strangers, he noticed that there were skeletons wearing some sort of old-fashioned armor, one of which approached and waved an archaic sword menacingly at him. In another account, a man's car broke down on a lonely road through the woods, after which he reported being approached by what he described as a skeleton in armor. The skeleton approached the car and purportedly said, "Is this the King's Highway? I've lost my ship," which sent the terrified man running for his life, leaving his car behind. Not only are there ghosts of men and ships, but also of dogs. 2 black dogs are known to pounce from the underbrush to terrorize attacking cars, chasing people, and even on occasion, jumping into truck beds to claw at the vehicle before vanishing into thin air. Sometimes, only the barking of the dogs can be heard, reverberating through the wilderness. There are also reports of phantom black horses, ghostly crows, and even headless cows wandering about the woods. There are also reports of a strange smell like sulfur, which will suddenly pervade the area until it becomes an unbearably noxious cloud before fading away. These are the horrors that lie before us. America, a country rich in history and blood on the land. These emotions left out on the battlefields and in the homes of Americans all across the country has led to many encounters with the paranormal. I am on a quest to bring you the most compelling evidence of the supernatural on this episode of Hauntings of America, Old House Woods. So what I have in my hand is a IR camera that was given to me by RVA Paranormal. Big shout out to those guys. This is the first investigation we're using this with. So what I can do is I can be able to take pictures in basically night vision as well as video. So this I can hold steady like this. I can attach it to a helmet or to my chest. That's something that we'll use in future investigations. But tonight I want to go ahead and just take a few pictures out in the field of things that I can't see with my own naked eye. and see if anything can either come up on the voice recorder, the video camera, or this. In the video, I'll also put some of these pictures as well as some of the video together with it as well. So thank you so much to RVA Paranormal and for the guys that custom made and built this. Thank you. So we are at Old House Woods. This is one of the scariest locations I've been to. We had a few instances where we've had cameras shut off on us, we've had electronic equipment shut off on us, we've seen shadows on the road, we've heard weird unexplained noises. We've also taken a few pictures of the house with unexplained, what looks like people in the windows. We've also had EVPs that are unexplained. One of them sounding like "go and get them."
Do you not want us to be here? If you don't want us to be here, just tell us and we'll leave.
So one of the reports that we found when we were researching Old House Woods was sightings of ghost cows and ghost horses that are seen throughout the woods, and people have even heard these cows mooing, if you will. We're not exactly sure why there would be spirits of cows here, but there was one report of two girls that were actually going through these woods to a cattle auction, and they disappeared. They were never seen again. So perhaps these are the cows that were with them, and for some reason these cows are manifesting. We don't know. We were up here one night though, and we heard what sounded like these ghost cows, and it actually ended up being a frog. So some of the animals and the wildlife that is out in these surrounding weeds do give off some pretty strange sounds at night if you don't know what you're listening for. There were quite a few scary experiences up here at Old House Woods. It was one of those places that, at least it used to be really active. When we used to come up here, there was always something that would happen. But one of the most startling, and the reason that one of our prior members, he'll no longer come up to these woods, is because of something we saw down this path that's across from the old house that used to stand here. Now, not the old house that the legends are named after, but straight up Haven Beach Road here, there used to be an old house known as Captain Forrest's house. And we pulled in this little dirt road across from it, and we're standing out there, and we see something, a shadow, a figure moving back and forth across this road. And we're trying to reason, what could this be? What kind of animal is going to pace back and forth? It's kind of a strange movement for an animal. So it stops and comes walking towards us, and as it gets closer, probably safe to say about 10 feet away, we can't see any features, but we can see the perfect outline of a person walking with a purpose. And it looked like he had something big on his head. I related it to the silhouette of what those Spanish conquistadors would wear, or what the Jamestown settlers wore on their heads, those helmets. That was the outline of it. But we hopped in the car, turned on the headlights, and there was nobody there. And we hopped in the car not because we were afraid of ghosts, but if it was a real person out here walking towards us with that kind of purpose, we really didn't want to know what that purpose was. Yeah, the Headless Dogs, I've actually talked to people who claim they have seen these dogs, and they said when they appear, they'll hear the growling in stereo, like the marsh just fills with these growls, and they'll see these dogs walking out kind of on air, like they're walking on thin air. They're not floating up in the air, but they're not walking on the ground either. And in talking to Linda, we were thinking about what kind of dogs could these be that are so huge, and Linda actually brought up the possibility of these being mastiffs.
Yeah, the Spanish used to carry mastiffs. They were actually trained for war, and they were huge, massive animals, and they would carry them on their ships. But it kind of stands to reason that if people have seen pirate ships out here, it very well could be that these pirate ships were carrying some Spanish mastiffs. They described it as a galleon that is seen floating right up White's Creek and up into the marsh where it moors. So it could be that these dogs come from that sort of thing. Now, why they're out here, why they're headless, would be another story. Who knows? It could be that they beheaded the dogs in the middle of the war, in the middle of some sort of battle that we don't know about. But it stands to reason because they're so huge.
My name is Will.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Linda. and we are here wanting to communicate with anyone that would like to talk to us. Why we are here is because we've heard that there is buried treasure around here, and we want to know where it is. Could you tell us?
How much money is your treasure worth?
Where did you get the treasure?
Are you from Spain?
The dogs that people see here on the beach and in the woods, do they belong to you?
Why did you come here?
People have seen British soldiers in these woods. Are those soldiers after your treasure?
What was the name of your ship?
Ask a question in Spanish, just in case they don't speak English.
¿Dónde está su barco? ¿Dónde está la dinero? El dinero.
What year did you come here?
¿Quién es su capitán?
What's going to happen to us tonight? Leaving the car.
We're walking down Haven Beach Road to where the old house used to be. Now, this is the house that's called Captain Forrest's house. It's not the old house that the woods are named after and that the legends surround. But still, it seems that once they tore this house down, something changed about the energy up here in the woods. Prior to them tearing that house down, almost every time we came up here, something strange happened. But ever since they tore it down, it just doesn't have the same feel in that area. So I don't know if there's some kind of energy that was attached to that house that kind of dissipated when they tore the house down.
Right here is where the house once stood. It was a 2-story farmhouse. And now that we're here, we're going to go ahead and do an EVP session and see if we can get them to communicate with us. It's torn down now, but here at this location is where I've gotten a very startling EVP. And so now we're going to go ahead and ask a few questions, see if what used to be here is still here and would like to communicate with us, and maybe even tell us to leave. If there is anyone here with us right now, please let us know that you're here. My name is Will, and I would like to talk to you. What I'm holding in my hand, if you talk into it, I can hear you. So tell me anything. Where is your home? Are you male or are you female? I'm here because I want to talk to you. I've come here a few times before. Same with Jeff, same with Linda. And we just want to know that you're still here, even though the house is gone. I want to know why you're here. What is your name? Do you not want us to be here? If you don't want us to be here, just tell us and we'll leave. I swear I heard a voice.
There's been some definite movement off to my left. I don't know if it's an animal walking around out there. I would just think that with us standing here talking, it would have ran off and not still be lingering.
Right.
There is also a creek that runs along the back of this property, a very small creek, and it very well could be that there's some sort of wildlife out there that is on that creek, whether it be a frog or a, toad of some kind. But there's something down here that, like something,
The size of that
get
bug.
a feel of that. There's a weird feeling coming from down here, like
Yeah. Like,
Do you want me to stop recording this?
no, you're doing great. It looks really good on the camera. I'm taking IR pictures.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I mean, hit you with the light.
No, it looks really cool with the light.
I guess I'll just get whatever panovers I can see of some trees and stuff like that here.
Yeah, the more light that you put on things, the better. I'm kind of following you with it.
What do you got?
Yeah, see the curve of the road? What is that?
Is it white?
Yeah. Is it a reflector?
Yeah, there's a post down there, I believe, a white post.
Do what? You saw something?
It was like a white flash that just kind of went by. It was almost like an orb.
Uncle Wayne's house?
Right. How are you feeling?
Something's down here. I really feel like something's down the road this direction, watching us.
Back towards the car?
Yeah, it doesn't, up here it doesn't creep me out so much, but something like back toward the car.
It's always good when it's between us and the car.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
Just in case we need to make a quick getaway. We're not going anywhere.
Right. Gotta go through it.
Here come the Hellhounds.
Yeah, see, that's good.
Is there anything else that you think would be good to do here? Or do you want to go back to the car, go over into where the house was? Or
I'm game.
That's funny. I'm not going in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you serious?
All right. Will's going first.
Okay.
So the last time that I came here, walking just like this, we walked up to the house and went to the right of it. When we came around to the other side, there was a shed. And when we got around to the other side, as soon as we saw the shed, the flashlight I was holding, the voice recorder, the camera that my fellow investigator was holding, all shut off at the same time as soon as we crossed around to the other side of the house. Scared us so bad, we dropped it all right back here, got in the van, and drove off. It wasn't until later on that we finally got the confidence to come back out and be like, hey, let's get our stuff. And so I didn't do it, but the other person was brave enough and ran out real quick, grabbed the stuff, and ran back to the van. But here is definitely where I've been the most scared as far as an investigation goes. There's an energy that's not only here at this location, but in Matthews and Gloucester. It's almost like how we were talking about before, where there's like a portal in Virginia Beach. There's definitely some kind of portal here on the Middle Peninsula, right here in this area. I don't necessarily think it's the spirits of people that once lived here. I think it's something else. It's some other type of entity that just kind of has a blanket over this area.
Sure, that sounds good.
All right.
Do you want me to cut the camera off?
Sure.
My name is Will.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Linda.
And we are here because we want to talk to whoever or whatever is out here. What is your name? Why are you here?
Do you know who Captain Forrest is? How does it make you feel, the changes that have been made to this land with the house being torn down? How does that make you feel?
Did you hear a cough?
Back that way?
Yeah. No, it was like behind Jeff. It went. It was very faint.
How many spirits are in these woods? Are you okay with us being here right now? What's the name of the woman that lingers up here along this street? Why is she here? Did something bad happen to her?
Why do you not want people here? Do you know anything about the men in armor that are seen walking down this road? Start heading back.
That light seems like it's a long way down the road, doesn't it? Probably can't even see it on the camera.
No.
But there's like a big security light by the parking lot. I will tell you though, remember I mentioned that weird creature that was up here?
Yeah.
Not the one that took the dog, but the other one that was up in the tree.
Yeah.
It was right around this bend down here. And in the summer, of course, it was in June. You can hear all the sounds of nature out here in these marsh grasses. And it just got completely silent. And then the guy that was with me, he saw something up in the tree, and it was gone. And then all of a sudden, the sounds of nature came back to life. Kind of weird. I've heard reports of Bigfoot making an appearance and everything getting silent.
Right.
And whatever this was, he described it like it's going to sound weird, but like a big monkey. And it jumped from one of those trees to the next tree. And then we lost sight of it.
That's my theory. It was a baby Bigfoot.
That's quite an element to add into the legends of Old House Woods.
It is.
Well, one of the things about Bigfoot is that some of them have described that maybe it's an interdimensional creature that's able to travel and it's from an alternate universe kind of thing.
Right.
And so that could explain why it suddenly goes silent, or, you know, it feels different, the air is different when it's around you because it's not supposed to be here.
That's true, and it could be that the nature, like the creatures that are in the environment actually sense a change in the environment like that we might not normally sense. So they may react by falling silent when they feel some kind of a portal open or something along those lines. Like tension building or something?
Huh?
Is it like tension building or something?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Why?
No, I'm just trying to make sure it's not make sure it's just my imagination. Like, it was the increase in the wind speed and
It could have been.
that bird that's out there.
Yeah, and I just got the thought that we can't see anything behind us.
I know.
No one's
that's
watching our
crazy.
backs, you know,
I know.
So you kind of feel compelled to keep looking around.
Yeah. Plus, this wind is making my eyes water, so my eyes are like getting blurry, so I'm not seeing that well anyway.
Right.
And then Jeff, for some reason, is walking faster. Which kind of creeped me out.
Because he knows there's something behind us.
He does.
He wants
He's
to get
like,
back to
"What
the
the
car.
Yeah. That's why I asked him.
He knows something we don't know. He
The
heard
tension.
something.
Yeah, he did.
Someone spoke to him, and he's like, nope.
No, I will tell you though, back there, for some reason, it's different than down here.
It is.
It is.
Like back there, it gets intense.
It does.
And it could just be because down here's a little more open. But back there, it's all the woods are so dense and around you.
Yeah.
No wind.
Right.
And it could be that down here, you're psychologically you're closer to the car, so that actually might make you feel a little more comfortable.
That's true. I guess
Yeah.
if the car was parked up there, it probably would be the other way around.
I don't know.
We still have quite a ways.
That light.
We still have this turn right here, and then
Yeah, that light's over there now.
yeah, you can't even see it.
Car up there by the house, it looked like you looked straight down the road and see it. You know.
That's comforting.
What if the light just keeps getting farther and farther away?
Oh God. Yeah,
We go into that
We go around the
vortex.
bend and then it's like, oh, it's all the way down there still.
Yeah, you had to say something like that.
Hey, they talk about those time lapses up here.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
You know, so that could definitely be one.
That's right. That's right. They do talk
We get
about
down
that.
to this light and it's like 3 in the morning. No time lapse yet. We're still good.
Good.
What time is it now?
9:19.
That's good. All right, there's the light.
We're almost to the car. It's a long walk.
It is.
It is. I am glad I got my exercise.
That's just kind of an eerie image right there. Though,
It
isn't
is.
That light at the end of this dark road.
And it's like there's still so much darkness separating us and that light.
Yeah.
Anything can still happen.
And there's still something behind us.
It's like one of those cases where you're running from something, you're like, yeah, light up ahead, civilization. You get up there and it's just a light in the middle of the woods.
Right, yeah.
Oh, man.
So Jeff, what is our next location we're going to?
Right now we're driving down Haven Beach Road and we're going to make a right onto Old House Woods Road. Now this is the site where the house that Old House Woods is named after, where that house once stood. So we're going to go by that location, and there's a lot of legends with this house. Some people believe the treasure was buried in or around that house, but the house caught on fire mysteriously and extinguished itself, and it was fine the next day. Well, a couple years later, the house caught on fire and burned down to the ground, so now there's just a foundation up there. But a lot of strange activity surrounding that place. Yeah, and that's what we saw that one time, or when we were standing out here, we saw something reflecting up the road a little bit. It was that, I believe, that post right there.
But it should be coming up here Where this sign is, it should be off to the right. Oh, there goes an animal.
Oh gosh, and we're right here. One of the two.
It'll be straight ahead, right here at this little turn. It's actually right where your lights are right now.
Oh, really? Right in there?
Yeah, right in here
Oh.
is where it should be. Where it used to be.
Huh.
Let's see, it used to be, this was all trees off to the right. So that's why I remember the bend being this way.
Yeah.
But it's right straight ahead where your lights are, right kind of in the woods. Do you want to park for a second maybe and see if we can walk over there?
Yeah, just stop right here.
Here, we can't really walk over to it actually. But it's right here in these woods is where the house used to stand. This is where the real old house woods was.
There used to be a street sign that said Old House Woods Road. And it's
Yeah.
gone.
It was
used
right
to be over
here,
there. Yep.
over here on the right side. Huh. That's a shame. Now we can't get over to it. This place has changed a lot.
It has. You can't see to our right, but they cut down the woods. All these trees that were over here are gone.
Do you not want us to be here? If you don't want us to be here, just tell us, and we'll leave. I swear I heard a voice.
There's been some definite movement off to my left. I don't know if it's an animal walking around out there. I would just think that with us standing here talking, it would have ran off and not still be lingering.
Right.
How does it make you feel, the changes that have been made to this land with the house being torn down? How does that make you feel?
Did you hear a cough?
Yes.
Back that way?
No, I think it was back
It's like
behind me.
behind Jeff.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. I guess, yeah. I couldn't quite figure
It was
out
very
what it
faint.
was, but yeah. Now that you say a cough.